I don't think I ever loved you, Isaiah. I just settled. Those words still echo in my head, even though Vanessa never actually said them to my face. She said them to him, Damian, 3 weeks ago, while I was supposedly at a conference in Denver. I wasn't in Denver. I was in my car, parked 2 blocks from our house, listening through the audio feed from our bedroom. The security system I'd installed last year wasn't just for burglaries. My name is Isaiah Turner, and I'm about to tell you how I took back my life from the man who tried to steal it. I came home early from what Vanessa thought was a business trip. The house felt wrong the moment I opened the door. Too quiet, too clean, like someone had erased evidence of living. Her suitcase was gone from the closet. The bathroom counter where she kept her makeup was bare except for the cheap drugstore stuff she never wore. On the kitchen counter, a note in her handwriting. I need space to figure out who I really am. Don't call me. V. My hand shook as I picked it up. Not from sadness, from rage. Rage at the carefully chosen words designed to make me the villain if I reached out. Rage at the cowardice of leaving a note instead of facing me. Then I saw the restaurant receipt next to it. Giacomo's, our anniversary restaurant. $347. 2 glasses of Dom Perignon. Last night's date, while I was supposedly in Seattle. But here's the thing about being a financial fraud investigator for 15 years before I became a consultant. You learn to see patterns. The receipt wasn't an accident. Vanessa was meticulous about hiding things. This was left on purpose, maybe unconsciously, because some part of her wanted me to know. Wanted me to fight for her. Or maybe she just wanted to hurt me. I pulled out my phone, my thumb hovering over her contact. Then I stopped, because in that moment, something shifted inside me. The hurt was still there, sharp as broken glass. But underneath it was something colder. Something I hadn't felt since my days tracking down men who destroyed families for profit. I opened a different app, one Vanessa didn't know existed. The security camera footage loaded on my screen, months of data at my fingertips. I had a choice to make. I could call her, beg her to come home, promise to change. I could collapse on the kitchen floor and let this destroy me. Or I could do what I do best, investigate, analyze, and dismantle the threat methodically. I chose the latter. My fingers moved across the screen, pulling up footage from 3 months ago. There, Vanessa checking her phone, smiling at a text, then quickly deleting it. 2 months ago, her leaving the house at midnight, walking 2 blocks east, just outside the range she thought our cameras covered. They covered further than she knew. A silver BMW waiting. A man's silhouette. Her climbing in. The car disappearing into the night. I watched 3 months of my marriage unravel in fast forward. Every lie. Every secret meeting. Every time she said she was at book club or yoga or visiting her sister. Then I saw something that made my blood freeze. 3 weeks ago, 2:17 p.m. on a Thursday. I was at work. The silver BMW in our driveway. Damian Cole. I didn't know his name yet, but I would soon. Walking into my house. Into my bedroom. I couldn't watch that part. Some things, once seen, can't be unseen. I closed the laptop and made a call. Marcus, it's me. I need you to run a license plate, and I need you to clear my schedule for the next 8 days. Marcus Hayes, former FBI, current private investigator, old friend from my fraud hunting days before I went legitimate. Isaiah, man, it's been 2 years. What's going on? My wife is having an affair. I need to know everything about him. Silence on the other end. Then, Jesus. I'm sorry, brother. Give me the plate number. I did. Then I added something that made Marcus pause. And Marcus, this stays quiet. No confrontation. No drama. I have a plan. What kind of plan? I looked at the restaurant receipt, at Vanessa's note, at the freeze frame of a stranger in my house. The kind we used to do. 24 hours after Vanessa left, I sat in Marcus's downtown office. A manila folder landed on the desk between us like a death sentence. Damian Cole, 34, drives a leased BMW he can't afford. Lives in a sublet apartment in Capitol Hill. Calls himself an entrepreneurial consultant. I opened the folder. His face stayed back at me, handsome in that generic way, The kind of face you trust with your secrets or your credit card. What does entrepreneurial consultant mean? Marcus smirked. It means he's unemployed and desperate. Isaiah, this guy's a ghost. No legitimate income for 3 years. Evicted twice. Credit score in the toilet. Then how's he affording champagne dinners? Marcus slid another document across. Bank statements. Transaction histories. A pattern emerged like blood in water. Your wife opened a separate account 6 weeks ago. She's transferred $15,000 to him in increments. 500 here, 2,000 there. Small enough she thought you wouldn't notice. My jaw clenched. 15,000. Money from her inheritance. The one her mother left her before she died. The money Vanessa said she was saving for something special. Apparently, Damian was special. There's more, Marcus continued. He's got a type. Married women, late 30s to mid-40s, wealthy husbands, emotionally vulnerable. I found 3 others in the past 18 months. Same playbook every time. He showed me photos. Women who looked nothing like each other but wore the same expression in their pictures with Damian. Intoxicated happiness, the kind that comes from feeling seen after years of invisibility. I knew that look. Vanessa had it in our wedding photos. They all lost money. Every single one. He bleeds them dry over 2 to 3 months, then ghosts them completely. Moves on to the next mark. I sat back, processing. My wife wasn't special to him. She was a transaction. I need to know where they are staying this week. And Marcus. I leaned forward. I need the names and contact information for all 3 of those women. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Why? Because Damian Cole isn't just going to lose my wife. He's going to lose everything. Marcus found them in 48 hours. A boutique resort in Napa Valley. Room 512. Ocean view. 7 nights at $400 per night. Charged to Vanessa's new account. But I wasn't ready to confront them yet. I had calls to make first. The first woman answered on the 3rd ring. Hello. Jennifer Matheson. My name is Isaiah Turner. I need 10 minutes of your time to talk about Damian Cole. Silence. Then a sharp intake of breath. How did you get this number? I'm a fraud investigator. Damian is currently with my wife. I think you know what that means. 20 minutes later, we'd talk for an hour. Jennifer was a doctor, 42, divorced. Damian had approached her at a hospital charity gala. Told her she was beautiful. Listened to her talk about her loneliness. 3 months later, her savings account was empty and he was gone. I reported it to the police. She said, voice hollow. They said it was a civil matter. He technically didn't steal. I gave it to him willingly. What if I told you I have a way to make him pay? I'm listening. I made 2 more calls that day. Patricia, a real estate mogul. Sophia, a tech executive. Same story, different details. Damian had a formula, and it worked because it targeted the one thing money couldn't buy, feeling valued. 3 days later, all 3 women sat across from me in a private hotel conference room. I'd laid out my plan on the table, documents, timelines, account numbers, and one very specific strategy. Patricia spoke first. You want us to set a trap. I want justice. But more than that, I want my wife to see exactly who she's chosen over her marriage. Jennifer leaned forward. What do we have to do? I explained. It would take coordination, timing, and a willingness to get a little bit datey. All 3 agreed without hesitation. Damian Cole had no idea what was coming. That night, alone in my hotel room, I pulled out something I hadn't looked at in years. A business card, worn at the edges, with an FBI seal and a name, Special Agent Rebecca Moss. 15 years ago, I was an Isaiah Turner, quiet financial consultant. I was the guy they called when white-collar criminals thought they'd gotten away with it. I remember the Castellano case like yesterday. Vincent Castellano ran a Ponzi scheme that destroyed 43 families. Retirement funds gone. College savings evaporated. One man committed suicide. The FBI couldn't touch him. His lawyers were too good, his paper trail too clean. But I wasn't FBI. I didn't need warrants or probable cause. I just needed patience and a gift for seeing patterns where others saw chaos. It took me 8 months to unravel Castellano's network. Shell companies in the Caimans. Fake investors who were actually his cousins. A second set of books hidden in his mistress's apartment. When I handed the evidence to Agent Moss, she looked at me like I'd performed a magic trick. How did you get into her apartment? I smiled. I didn't break any laws. I just asked the right questions to the right people. Castellano got 18 years. The families got some of their money back. Agent Moss offered me a job. We could use someone like you. I declined. I worked better alone. But I kept a card. And over the years, when I needed information or resources that only the FBI could provide, I called in favors. Tonight, I was calling in another one. Rebecca, it's Isaiah Turner. Isaiah, good. It's been what? 5 years. What's going on? I need help with a con artist named Damian Cole, and I need it off the books. The meeting with the 3 women happened in a windowless conference room that smelled like old coffee and desperation. Jennifer arrived first, her doctor's composure cracking the moment she saw me. Patricia came next, all business in her designer suit. Sophia was last, carrying a laptop bag like she was heading into a corporate merger. Thank you for coming, I began. Jennifer cut me off. Is she pretty? Your wife? The question landed like a slap. Yes, of course she is. We all were. Her laugh was bitter. That's his type. Successful, accomplished, attractive women who feel invisible in their own lives. Patricia nodded. He made me feel like I was 25 again. Like I mattered. You do matter, I said quietly. He just saw that vulnerability and weaponized it. Sophia opened her laptop. I've been tracking him since he disappeared with my money. Different names, different cities, but the same pattern. He's done this at least 19 times that I can confirm. 19. My stomach turned. Here's what I'm proposing, I said, laying out documents. We don't just expose him. We dismantle him completely. Every account, every alias, every lie. I explained the plan. They would coordinate with Marcus to create a digital trail so airtight that even Damian's lawyers couldn't escape it. Text messages, bank transfers, recorded phone calls, everything admissible in court. But there's one more thing, I added. I need him to think he's winning right up until the moment he loses. That means letting my wife continue giving him money for a few more days. Jennifer frowned. Why? Because she needs to see who he really is. If I just tell her, she'll think I'm controlling her. If she discovers it herself. I paused. Then maybe she'll understand what she almost lost. All 3 women stared at me. Finally, Patricia spoke. You still love her? Yes, even though I shouldn't. I hadn't thought about Eleanor, Vanessa's mother, in years. But that night, memories surfaced like bodies in a lake. I met Eleanor once before she died. Vanessa and I had been dating for 6 months. Her mother was frail, eaten away by cancer and regret. Take care of my daughter, Eleanor had whispered to me, her hand cold in mine. She's afraid of becoming me. What do you mean? Eleanor's eyes filled with tears. I married a man who never saw me. For 30 years, I was a ghost in my own home. When he left, I realized I'd never existed at all. She gripped my hand tighter. Vanessa thinks she's strong, but she carries that fear like a stone. Promise me you'll see her. Every day. Promise me you'll make her matter. I promised. And for the first 7 years of our marriage, I kept that promise. I listened when she talked. I remembered small details. How she liked her coffee, which books made her cry, the way she hummed when she cooked. But then my career took off. Bigger clients, longer hours, more travel. And slowly, without meaning to, I stopped seeing her. I found her journal 6 months ago while looking for a receipt. One entry, dated 3 months before Damian. I tried to tell Isaiah about the promotion today. He nodded and went back to his laptop. I could have told him I was dying and he would have nodded the same way. I'm disappearing, just like Mom did. I'd closed the journal and never mentioned it. I told myself I'd do better. Tomorrow. Next week. After this case closed. I never did. Now, sitting in this hotel room with evidence of her affair spread across the bed, I understood something terrible. Damian didn't steal my wife. I gave her away through 1,000 small acts of neglect. Day 4. Marcus called with an update. It's working. Damian just got a text from Jennifer's old number. So you at the resort. Looking good. I'd given all 3 women permission to contact him, to remind him that his past wasn't as buried as he thought. How'd he react? According to the resort staff Marcus bribed, he went white as a sheet. He's been checking his phone every 5 minutes since. Good. Let him sweat. An hour later, Patricia sent her message from a burner phone. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Then Sophia. Room 512 is a great view, doesn't it? Marcus sent me a photo from the resort's pool camera. Damian looked like a man waiting for a bomb to drop. Vanessa sat next to him, oblivious, reading a book in the sunshine. God, she looked beautiful, relaxed in a way I hadn't seen in years. It took everything in me not to drive to Napa right then and drag her home. But that night, something shifted. Damian's credit cards, all maxed out for weeks, suddenly started working again. Someone had paid off his balances. Marcus traced it. An anonymous deposit. $10,000. Did you do that? Marcus asked. No, but I know who did. Agent Moss. She was setting up the sting, creating a money trail that would be impossible for Damian to explain away. The FBI loved cases where the defendant's own greed provided the evidence. Damian didn't know it yet, but every dollar he touched was another year added to his sentence. That same night, Vanessa posted a photo on Instagram. Her and Damian at sunset, wine glasses raised. The caption, finally feeling alive. My phone buzzed with concerned messages from friends. I ignored them all. 3 more days. Just 3 more days, and this would all be over. Marcus dug deeper into Damian's past and found something unexpected. He wasn't always a con artist. 8 years ago, Damian Cole was Michael Preston, a pharmaceutical sales rep in Baltimore, engaged to a woman named Rachel. They had a house, a dog, a normal life. Then the company went bankrupt. Michael lost everything: job, savings, the house. Rachel left him for her personal trainer. 6 months later, homeless and desperate, Michael met a man named Vincent in a shelter. Vincent was old school, ran cons in the 70s and 80s before fraud went digital. Marcus found court transcript from Vincent's trial. In his statement, Vincent had said, I taught that boy everything. He was hungry, and hunger makes people dangerous. Damian, Michael, had learned from a master. How to read people, how to find their weaknesses, how to make them believe the fantasy. Vincent went to prison. Damian disappeared and reinvented himself. I should have hated him more, knowing this. Instead, I felt something unexpected. Pity. He'd been broken by the same thing that almost broke me: loss and invisibility. The difference was the choice we made after. I chose to hunt people like the ones who destroyed him. He chose to become them. Still, understanding his origin didn't change what I had to do. Sympathy doesn't excuse destruction. Marcus sent me one more file. Damian's recent searches on his laptop, pulled from cloud backups. How to disappear completely. Countries with no extradition. Selling identity online. He was planning to run. And based on the timeline, he was planning to leave Vanessa behind when he did. That decided it. Tomorrow, I'd make my move. It happened faster than I expected. Day 6. Vanessa's phone died during dinner. She reached for Damian's charger back in the room. His phone was sitting on the nightstand, unlocked. She saw the messages first. 7 unread texts from different women. All recent. All intimate. Marcus had the hotel's Wi-Fi network mirrored to his laptop. He watched in real time as Vanessa opened Damian's email. Isaiah. She's seeing it. She's seeing everything. Folders labeled with women's names. Bank transfers. A document titled V. Turner, Timeline and Exit Strategy. Inside, Damian's notes. Target shows classic signs of emotional neglect. Husband career obsessed. Estimated total yield, $40,000 to $50,000. Emotional attachment, moderate. Exit window, week 3 to 4. Post-exit risk, low. She'll be too embarrassed to report it. Marcus read it to me over the phone. Every clinical word felt like a knife. But it wasn't me being stabbed. It was Vanessa. There's more, Marcus said. Screenshots of her social media. Notes about her daily routine. He's been studying her like a lab rat. I heard the shower turn off through Marcus's audio feed. Damian was coming out. What's she doing now? Just sitting there. holding his phone. She looks destroyed. My hand tightened on the steering wheel. I was already driving north, already 2 hours into the 4-hour trip to Napa. Marcus, text her. From my number. Tell her I'm coming. What should I say? Tell her she's not alone. Through the phone, I heard Damian's voice. Hey babe, ready for dinner. Then Vanessa's voice, cold and unfamiliar. Who the hell are you? Scene 10. Isaiah and Vanessa's beginning. As I drove through the night toward Napa, memories played like a film I couldn't pause. Our first date, 12 years ago. Vanessa had been nervous, talking too fast about her graduate program, her hands fluttering like trapped birds. I'm sorry, she'd said suddenly. I'm rambling. You must think I'm insane. I'd taken her hand across the table. I think you're brilliant. And I like hearing you talk. Most people don't really listen. I do. Her eyes had filled with tears. Why are you so different? Because I know what it's like to be invisible. We'd talked until the restaurant closed. Then we'd walk through the city for hours, and I'd learned everything about her. Her mother's sad marriage, her fear of settling, her dream of mattering to someone. I promise, I told her that night, I will never make you feel invisible. Our wedding day. Her in white, radiant, trusting. My vows. I promised to see you every day for the rest of my life. I'd meant it. But 5 years later, buried in the Castellano case, I'd missed our anniversary. Then I'd missed her birthday. Then I'd stopped asking about her day because I was too tired to listen to the answer. Isaiah, are you even hearing me? She'd asked one night. Of course, I'd lied, eyes on my laptop. She'd walked away. I kept working. 1,000 small abandonments. Death by 1,000 cuts. By the time I looked up, she was already halfway gone. Now, driving through darkness to save what was left, I realized something. I'd been so focused on seeing through lies that I'd stopped seeing the truth right in front of me. My wife had been drowning, and I'd been too busy to notice. Damian had simply offered her a life raft. It didn't matter that the raft was made of lies. It floated, and that was more than I'd given her. My phone rang. Vanessa. Scene 11. The confrontation. Isaiah. Her voice was wrecked, raw from crying. I know, I said quietly. What? I know about Damian. I've known since the beginning. Silence. Then, you knew, and you just let me. If I'd told you, you wouldn't have believed me. You would have thought I was controlling you, trying to keep you from being happy. So you let me walk into this nightmare. I took a breath. Vanessa, the money you gave him, it didn't come from our accounts. I locked everything down 2 weeks ago. I set up a separate account with my own money and let you transfer it. You didn't lose anything except time. I heard her breath catch. Why would you do that? Because I love you. Even angry. Even hurt. Even when you chose him over me. Isaiah. She was crying now, really crying. I needed you to see him for what he is. Not because I told you, but because you discovered it yourself. And I needed you to know that even when you broke my heart, I was still protecting you. Where's Damian now? Look out your hotel room window. Parking lot. I heard movement, then her sharp intake of breath. That's 3 women standing by a black SUV. You're not his first, Vanessa. You're number 4. They're the ones he destroyed before you. And they're here because I asked them to help me stop him from doing it again. Oh my God. Tomorrow morning, FBI agents are going to arrest him in the hotel lobby. Wire fraud. Identity theft. He's looking at 10 to 15 years. How did you? Because this is what I do, Vanessa. Before I became a consultant, I hunted men like him. I stopped because I thought I'd left that world behind. Turns out I just needed the right reason to go back. Silence stretched between us, heavy with everything unsaid. Finally, I don't deserve you. Maybe not, but I don't deserve what you did either. My voice cracked. I broke my promise, Vanessa. I stopped seeing you. I got so lost in work that I forgot to come home, even when I was standing right next to you. Isaiah, we have a lot to figure out. I don't know if we can fix this, but I know I couldn't let him destroy you. I'm so sorry. Me too. Now pack your things. I'm in the parking lot. The next morning, Damian Cole walked into the hotel lobby at 9:47 a.m., Vanessa's suitcase in his hand, completely unaware. I stood near the entrance with Jennifer, Patricia, and Sophia. Agent Moss and her partner waited by the front desk, badges hidden. Damian saw Vanessa first. She was sitting in the lobby, her face unreadable. Then he saw the three women. Recognition flashed across his face, followed by panic. He turned to run. Damian Cole, Agent Moss called out, badge raised. FBI, don't move. He froze. Then he did something I didn't expect. He lunged toward Vanessa, not in violence but desperation. Vanessa, please, this is all a misunderstanding. I stepped between them, my voice low and dangerous. Touch her and badge or no badge, you'll regret it. His eyes met mine for the first time. In them, I saw everything: fear, hatred, and the dawning realization that he'd finally met someone who'd beaten him at his own game. You Isaiah. Not a question. I'm the husband you underestimated. Agent Moss moved in. Damian Cole, also known as Michael Preston, David Chen, and 12 other aliases, you under arrest for wire fraud, identity theft, and interstate financial crimes. As they cuffed him, Damian started laughing, a broken, bitter sound. She came willingly. I didn't force her to do anything. No, I agreed. You just exploited her loneliness, manipulated her vulnerability, stole her money. That's the definition of fraud. He was still screaming as they dragged him out. You're all the same. You ignore them until they're desperate, then act surprised when someone else gives them attention. The words hit like bullets because they were partially true. When the lobby emptied, Vanessa and I stood alone. She looked smaller somehow, fragile. I don't know what happens now, she whispered. Neither do I. But not hey. I picked up her suitcase. Let's go home. We walked to my car in silence. As I opened her door, she touched my arm. How did you know I'd call you last night? I paused, thinking of our first date, our wedding vows, every promise I'd made and broken. I didn't know, but I hoped, because hoping was all I had left. We drove south as the sun rose, two broken people trying to find their way back to each other, or at least to some version of closure. The road stretched ahead, uncertain and long. But for the first time in months, we were traveling it together,